Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for All, West Virginia students, sponsored by the West Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at WVACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, WVACRAO.org. I'd like to now turn it over to our presenters.
Welcome to West Virginia University Potomac State College information session. Thanks for joining us this evening and taking time out of your busy day to learn more about Potomac State College. My name's Leslie Stark. I'm an admissions counselor here at the college, and I cover the counties of Grant, Hardy, Hampshire, Mineral, and Pendleton counties. So we want to get started today by letting you know that if you do have any questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A chat feature, and we'll answer those questions at the end of our session live for you. So we want you to think about what I belong means to you, and feel free if you want to drop what that means to you in the chat feature. We'd be happy to hear from you. But at Potomac State, what I belong means to us is it's a sense of family and you're home away from home. And I can promise you that as a former student and as a current employee of Potomac State, I feel like I belong at Potomac State. I felt that sense of family when I was a student, and even now that I'm still an employee here at Potomac State. The staff members and the faculty and even the students that you interact with daily will become your second family. They're going to make you feel cared for. They want to see you succeed. They're excited about your accomplishments and they want you to reach all of your goals. And if you're having a bad day, their ultimate goal is to make sure that your day gets better. So you're going to have that second family. And you're also going to find your home away from home. So going to college, it can be a little scary sometimes, but Potomac State can be your second home, where you feel comfortable and where you feel you belong. I can promise you that Potomac State, no matter where my life takes me, wherever my journey takes me in this life, Potomac State will always have a special spot in my heart and be my second home. And so we hope that you'll find that Potomac State is where you belong. So with that being said, your home, such as Potomac State College, might be closer than you think. We're just a short drive from Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, Northern Virginia, Pittsburgh, PA, and of course, Morgantown, West Virginia. And so that's where the main flagship campus is going to be located at. And we're only about 90 miles away from the Morgantown campus. So what makes Potomac State special and who are we? First of all, we are West Virginia University. You're going to get the best of both worlds at Potomac State. So a big time university academic curriculum, but it's going to be delivered on a smaller campus. And since we have a smaller campus, that allows us to offer those small class sizes, but they're going to be challenging classes and you're going to have dedicated professors to make sure that you do well in the classroom and you succeed. We're also one of the most affordable four-year institutions in the country. And as I talked about earlier, we're a home away from home for over 1,300 students. We have 11 championship athletic teams, and we have a vibrant residential campus with 5 different dorm facilities that you can choose to live in. So I want to start off by letting you hear from a couple of our past former students. And so as I mentioned earlier, you're going to find your family at Potomac State. You're going to find your mentors and you're going to find your friends that'll be lifelong connections. So I'll let you hear from 2 of our former students at Potomac State.
Potomac State is the path that led to everything I have. It gave me the resources to adjust to college life and feel comfortable taking the next steps in my education, even though that meant changing my major to be happy. I, of course, was led to a career that I love, which I'm currently at, and it's always a path that leads home to mentors and incredible friendships and people that I know that I can rely on for the rest of my life. So it's just an awesome feeling to have Potomac State kind of in your core and have your back. They really are the path that can lead to success for anyone.
So you're going to have challenging academics at Potomac State. You're guaranteed face time with your professors. They're especially interested in your success. So you're going to have different types of degrees that you can study from, and they're going to be 2-year degrees, graduate ready for a career. So if you want to get a 2-year degree and then go out into the workforce, you can. You're also going to have 2-year transfer degrees. So what this means is you can start at Potomac State and then you can move on to the Morgantown campus or the WVU Tech Beckley campus, which is in the southern part of the state or elsewhere. So if you start at Potomac State, again, you can go on to one of our WVU campuses or a campus of your choice. We also have 2-year online degrees. So we have online degrees in general studies, business administration, and the last 2 years of criminal justice you can complete online. And we also have several 4-year degrees. So these are bachelor's degrees that you can complete completely at Potomac State without having to go elsewhere. But Potomac State, we offer an average class size of about 21 students. So with that being said, you're going to get that hands-on learning with your professors, and you're going to get that one-on-one attention with them. They're not just going, or you're not just going to be a number in the classroom. They'll know you on a name-to-name basis. One of the other great things about Potomac State and our professors is that our professors have either a master's or a doctorate in the field that they'll be teaching you in. So they could take their knowledge and go anywhere that they wanted to, but their passion is teaching. So they're there for you and want you to get a good quality education. So our professors there, we're not a research facility. So their passion is teaching you. And so that means that they're not worried about running off for research. Not that that's a bad thing, you have to have research, but you can stop in before class, after class, and ask questions. And since it's a smaller class size, you'll be able to raise your hand in class and ask questions and engage right there in the class. So your professors are going to be a great resource to make sure that you do well in the classroom. In addition to your professors, you're going to have many academic resources that's going to be available to help you out. You're going to have the Mary F. Shipper Library, and so that's going to be professionals and they're experts in their field. The professionals that work in the library they're going to be ones that can help you with databases and resources because you're going to be writing a lot of papers and doing research, so you're going to need to know how to do that. So our librarians can help you out with that and make sure that you find the databases and resources, credible resources that you'll need for on your paper and be able to cite them correctly. You're also going to have access to electronic resources regardless of where you're at. So if you're at home, you're in your dorm room, you're there on campus, you'll have access to all the databases and resources that the Morgantown campus has access to. And again, that's going to be wherever you're at. And our librarians will be able to help you navigate those databases so that you can get great papers and do well on them. You're also going to get access to the Office 365 suite for free. So if you purchase a laptop, not that it's required, but if you purchase one, just keep that in mind that you'll get the Office 365 suite for free, and our librarians can help you out with that. We also have the Academic Success Center, which is going to be professional tutoring. So we have professional tutoring in math, science, and English, and we have peer tutors in other subject areas. But again, it's free, so make sure you take advantage of it. With the peer tutoring and the professional tutoring, I always tell students, even if let's say, for instance, science is your strongest subject, it never hurts to get a tutor because you may come across a subject area in one of these fields that you aren't as familiar with. And so you already have that connection built with that tutor who can really help you succeed and do well. Again, it's free and the tutoring sessions are typically once a week, about 30 minutes each. But if you need to set up more sessions than once a week, you definitely can. That's what the Academic Success Center is there for, to help you out. So I'm now going to turn it over to Cassie Weiss, and she's going to talk to you about academics and also what Potomac State means to her.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Leslie. As she stated, my name is Cassie Weiss. I'm also an admissions counselor with WVU Potomac State College, and I work with the students from the southern part of West Virginia. So Mingo, McDowell, Mercer County, and many more. You'll be dealing with me as you go through this process with Potomac State College. Before we dive into our next topic, I'd like to share a little bit about what I Belong means to me. So everyone knows these lyrics are from the famous Country Roads, but for me, they represent so much more than just a song. I grew up in Mineral County, where Potomac State College is located, so I've been familiar with Potomac State my entire life. I even took dual enrollment classes during high school, and to this day, I still consider my Potomac State professors some of the best teachers I've ever had during my college experience, and I've had a lot of it. After moving away for a couple of years, I recently had the opportunity to move home and come work at Potomac State and live closer to my family. Since then, I've been able to join a new family, my Potomac State family. If you choose to attend Potomac State College, and you're going to be able to join a family that will have your back every step of the way as you navigate your college journey, or in my case, professional journey and beyond. So allow those country roads to take you home to Potomac State. There are an infinite number of reasons why you belong at Potomac State. I'm happy to detail a few of those in the next few minutes. So let's go ahead and talk about how affordable it is to attend Potomac State and our financial aid options. If you're like most high school seniors, you've spent the last few months bombarded by colleges sending brochures, emails, texts, social media posts with a single message. This is why you should come to our college. Insert a happy smiling photo of a student in college gear here. The cost of higher education can have long-term implications on your life. So it's an important factor to consider when choosing a college. Here at Potomac State, we pride ourselves on being one of the most affordable colleges in the state and in the country. To break it down, in-state tuition for 2020 and 2021 is just over $4,500, and we didn't raise our tuition rates this year. Room and board, which includes your dorm room and your meal plan, runs just under $8,500. So a full year at Potomac State, 2 full semesters, cost just over $13,000. Please remember that these fees are subject to change based on your choices of major, housing type, and meal plan. While we are proud that we are an affordable option for college, keep in mind that the cost of college is not indicative of its quality. At Potomac State, you will still receive a high quality education through our big university curriculum, all while saving some money along the way. We all know that students can attend Potomac State at an affordable rate. We also consider that you may need help covering those costs associated with going to college. So let's talk about a little bit of those on the next slide. So don't be afraid to ask about financial aid opportunities, as the majority of our students do qualify for some form of financial aid, whether it be loans, grants, federal work study, or scholarships. Any student thinking of applying for college should submit a FAFSA or a free application for federal student aid. As its name suggests, it is free and it is used to determine your financial aid eligibility. It's best to fill out your FAFSA as soon as possible. It's open now for the 2021-2022 school year. For the state of West Virginia, it is due by March 1st. You will need to fill out a FAFSA each year you plan to attend college. When filling out the FAFSA, be sure to include our school code of 003827 so that we will receive your financial information in order to determine your financial aid package or offerings. This code will appear as West Virginia University since we use the same code for all 3 of our WVU campuses. If you do have any questions about financial aid, you can always contact psc-finaid@mail.wvu.edu, and one of our financial aid counselors will get back to you as soon as possible. Now let's talk about some of our scholarship opportunities. At Potomac State College, we do not require a separate scholarship application. This means once you've been admitted and submitted your financial information, you will be considered for a merit-based scholarship. Our scholarship process mirrors that of Morgantown, with expanded tiers to allow as many students as possible the opportunity to earn a scholarship. The chart you're seeing on the screen shows the different tiers for our scholarships of distinction for 2020-2021. You'll notice that we use both your GPA and test scores to determine which level you would fall in. Remember, we do not require test scores for admission, but if you do submit them, they can be used to determine your maximum scholarship eligibility. When considering your test scores, we use what's called a super score to determine your scholarship level you fall into. That means you can take the ACT or SAT multiple times, and we'll pull your highest score from each section and combine them to see which tier you'll fall into. You'll also see our school codes for the SAT and ACT at the bottom right corner. Be sure to include them on all of your test results. Keep in mind these scholarships are subject to change for 2021-2022. Something new we will begin offering starting this fall in 2021 are our Go First scholarships. The Go First scholarships will not require test scores and will be awarded strictly based on your GPA. This will allow us to provide even more students with the opportunity to earn a WVU degree. Student athletes also have the opportunity to earn athletic scholarships. These are offered by our coaches. Be sure to reach out to our coaches if you are interested in joining one of our championship athletic teams that Larry will tell you a little bit more about shortly. Now, I bet some of you are thinking, wouldn't it be great to not have to pay for college tuition? Well, for our West Virginia students, there is a way for you to do just that. The West Virginia Invest Grant is a state-funded federal financial aid program designated to cover the cost of tuition and fees for certificate or associate degree programs in high-demand fields for qualifying residents. Potomac State College offers 23 different majors and 7 different fields that qualify for the program. They are all listed on the right side of your screen. With the West Virginia Invest Grant, you'll be able to save about $10,000, all while earning your WVU Associate's degree. What does the grant cover? This is a last dollar in program, meaning that it will pay for any amount up to the total cost of your tuition and fees that isn't already covered by other state or federal grant or scholarships. The grant does not cover program fees, textbooks, or other course materials, housing, or meal plans. How do you qualify for the West Virginia Invest Grant, you ask? You must be a West Virginia resident. You must not have earned an associate's degree or higher. You must have graduated from high school or passed a high school equivalency exam, and you must pass a drug screen before the start of each academic term. You can apply for the West Virginia Invest Grant by first completing your FAFSA and applying for admission to Potomac State College. You can find our application at go.wvu.edu/PSC apply. You will also need to fill out a West Virginia Invest Grant application, which can be found at westvirginiainvest.org/apply. You can find more information about the program at westvirginiainvest.org, or you can reach out to our financial aid counselors at psc-finaid@mail.wvu.edu. Please remember, you can submit any questions you may have in the Q&A box at this time, and we will do our best to answer as many of them as possible. So now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Larry to bring us home.
Okay, thank you, Cassie. My name is Larry Crook, and I'm an admissions counselor here at WVU Potomac State College. I cover various areas throughout the state of West Virginia, so some of you might be familiar with me. I have been around many different places throughout the state. I cover the Eastern Panhandle, which is the Martinsburg, Berkeley Springs, Charlestown areas. I also cover parts of Western West Virginia, like Parkersburg area, all the way down to Huntington. So you might have seen me at some of the fairs throughout the last couple of years. Now, this definition right here is, I will tell you, very near and dear to my heart when I say I belong. I have family that are here in West Virginia. It has been something that is, when I say I belong, I've never felt more I belong at a place like Potomac State College. Coming here from Pennsylvania, from going to school in Pennsylvania and then coming here, I have had nothing but open arms, very welcoming family at Potomac State College. It always has been. It's been my home for the last 17 years. It's been a place that has definitely brought me back to where my family's roots are. And I'm very proud to be part of Potomac State College. It's a place that is near and dear to my heart. That was very helpful to me as a student, very molded me into the person I am today. And I'm very proud of the person I am today due to the helping hands that I had at Potomac State College. So when it says country roads take me home, I know exactly what that means. It's something that is very special to me and will always be, and I will definitely be a lifelong catamount. Now, with that being said, we switch over to, some of the important things here in our housing and residence life. Some of you might be thinking, you've heard a great deal today from both Leslie and Cassie, and they've done an excellent job so far. But about our housing and residence life, we have many different options, okay? We have anything from our suite style living, which we have University Place and Catamount Place, which are what the suite style is we have 2 students in a room that are connected through a bathroom. So it's, if you just kind of want to live and have your own bathroom like within your room, that's what our suite style living option is. It's a very popular option. We also have our single rooms available in Reynolds Hall and Catamount Place. So that is something that is available to you. I know some people, especially right now, dealing with everything with the COVID and everything, that they might want to have that individual room, and we do have that option as well. Now, our final option is we do have our traditional style living, which I always try to tell everyone when you watch them, typically when you watch any kind of college related movie, this is the experience that you'll get in the traditional style, which is you and a roommate in a room, community bathroom on each floor, and each floor is separated by gender. That's always a question that is commonly asked. I just thought I'd go ahead and answer that for you today. Now, there are different, amenities that are available, and you can see that they're listed right there. We do have laundry in every building. We have lounges available to our students. We do have cable television, which is very exciting because HBO is actually part of that package. And we do have air conditioning in every residence hall, which I can tell you, especially even today, if you have been out and about outside today, it has been very warm still. So the air conditioning definitely comes in handy. Now, some of you today might be, thinking about athletics, okay? And athletics is another thing that I mentioned before, when I say I belong, it actually, this slide here is actually part of the reason, small part, but definitely a major role, in me attending Potomac State College. I'm actually a former student athlete at Potomac State as well. And I can tell you that our athletic programs here on our campus have done exceptionally well. When it says a traditional winning, we have 11 intercollegiate athletic sports that are available to students, and we've had success in all of them at some point. I can tell you that our baseball team is probably our most prized program. We've won a national championship in baseball. They're consistently pushing players out into the minor league system. Our men's basketball program 2 years ago was #1 in the country for about 5 weeks. They've done extremely well. Volleyball's been a national tournament in the last couple of years. Softball had a string of about 4 years in a row of going to the national tournament, which is very successful. And it's always exciting, especially when we get to go to national tournament, because we have typically we have about 1,300 students, and it's very exciting to hear on the radio or watch the live feed when they're like, yeah, we have this school from this area that has 28,000 students, and Potomac State College has 1,300. Well, what's exciting is that we are competing with those schools, and in many cases, we are beating those schools. So we take great pride in our athletic programs. Our new and very exciting programs, we have our esports program. Our esports has been very successful immediately. We have a brand new state-of-the-art arena that we're very excited about. And it is something that is very new to Potomac State College, but has been very successful and has been very welcoming. We have students from all over. We have international students in the esports programs. What the most important thing is, I've listed our accomplishments in our athletic programs. But one thing I can tell you is if you're wanting to go to a school, you're wanting to play now, and you're wanting to make an impact, this is a place for you. I'm actually our head women's basketball coach, and I can tell you when I recruit players in to help us now. I don't say you're going to sit on the bench, here and be ready for next year or the year after that. I'm bringing you in now because we want you to make an impact, and that's how it is in all sports. We are very successful in all of them. We do take great pride, and we welcome anyone that would like the opportunity to play. You just have to contact the coaches. Another thing kind of related to, our athletics is our different, activities and organizations that are here on our campus. Our campus activities, we have many outdoor activities, especially with most of you coming from different parts of West Virginia. There's lots of outdoor things to do. Kayaking is definitely a big thing. We actually have the Potomac River that's about, I'd say, 1/4 mile from our campus. So that's another great option. We have hiking that is available to our students. One thing that we did that was very exciting is we did the virtual escape room, which seemed to be very popular among our students. I know I heard students talking about it when I've been up on campus, all about it. And the other thing that is very popular on our campus, with us being small and having such a tight-knit community, is our student organizations. We have student organizations in many, many different areas. We have any kind of cultural clubs that are available, activity clubs, education. A couple, just examples of that is our Black Student Alliance. It's a very popular organization. Our Ag and Forestry Club is very big because we're very rich in agriculture here at Potomac State College. We have, just many different clubs that are available. And if you're someone who has a certain interest and you have 5 other people that are interested in that, you can actually form your own club. So we always welcome that. We always welcome new ideas to come to Potomac State. We are a very diverse campus, and we love anything that's, that the students like to do, and we like to express that in any way possible. So when you're sitting there thinking right now, how do I check out campus? How do I get this, how do I reach out to my admissions counselors? Well, there are many different options that we do have available. So if you're someone who today, please feel free to reach out to us. I will be happy to help you. You can check out our webpage as well. But we do have our tour guide lives that we do every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. that you can sign up for. So if you wanted to get a visit a campus, we have that available. We have individual visits that are available both virtually, and very soon we'll be doing on-campus visits that we're very excited about, but very soon. And our Discover Days, which we actually have a Discover Day coming up on November 7th. You can sign up for. It is virtual, and we are very excited about that. Normally we get a lot of traffic there, and you get to hear directly from the source at our campus, which we're very excited about. With us being small, we're definitely very personable, and we're someone who can be helpful to you. But please feel free to go ahead and take a snapshot of the email address there that you can get at the gotopsc@mail.wvu.edu. And please feel free to call our 6800 number to get in touch with us. But we definitely want to hear from you. And when it says apply now, I would recommend that you apply at any time. It's free to apply. We only require a 2.0 grade point average and a high school diploma or GED, and the application will probably take you about 5 minutes. There's no strings attached. It's only going to benefit you by applying, and you definitely want to get that sooner than later. When I say that, there is no ACT or SAT required on our campus. They're just mainly there for your academic scholarship purposes. So I always tell every student to go ahead and please take those, because they're only benefit you. You're not hurting you in any way possible. But now I'm going to hand things back over to Leslie Stark, and we are very excited that you are here today, and I want to thank you for logging on today and listening to us. I'm greatly appreciated by each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. So just as a reminder, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A feature box, and we'd be happy to answer your questions live. I don't see any of the questions that have came in so far. So Cassie, while we're waiting for students to put in some questions, could you just talk to us about, I know Larry mentioned this a little bit, but could you talk about the benefits of the Discover Day, which is one of our open house events, and how can students register for it?
Yes, of course, Lily. So our Discover Day, Larry mentioned, it is on November 7th. So what you're going to be able to discover on those days is you're going to have some academic sessions. You're going to be able to meet with an admissions counselor. You can talk about financial aid. Any questions you may have, we're going to be able to answer them that day for you. Now you can sign up for Discover Day at go.wvu.edu/PSC visit. So this top option right here on your virtual options page, you'll be able to find the registration form. Now, the cool thing about Discover Day is that if you register for it and you fill out an application, which again is free, you will be entered to win a $500 scholarship. So a couple more bucks in your pocket for your college experience. So please sign up for Discover Day and fill out your application so you have a chance to win that scholarship with us.
Great, thanks, Cassie. So Larry, I'll ask you this next question. Can you talk about when does a housing application open for students so that they're aware of when they can apply for housing?
All right. Thank you, Leslie. Yes, our housing application is available on November 2nd for students to apply for both spring and the fall 2021 semester. So please, when I tell you about applying, as I mentioned before, and also something I did not mention is we do not have an application fee. And the reason I bring that up is because by applying, getting admitted, then you're eligible then to get your login and password. So you can log in and complete the housing application. There is a $200 deposit for the housing application, but if you get all that done, it's very smooth sailing. We make it a very simple and easy process, and I like to credit our admission staff for that because we try to help you out and make things as simple as possible for you.
Thanks, Larry. So another question that we get often is, how do you register for classes at Potomac State? So we talked about applying, we talked about how to fill out the housing application and get financial aid, but we really haven't talked about how you register for classes per se. So I'll just jump in and answer that question. And starting in April throughout the summer, we're going to be offering both virtual and on-campus new student orientations. And so new student orientations is where you would actually get to meet with an advisor and talk about your class schedules. Class schedules are made in advance to the event, but you'll have that time to sit down with an advisor who's a professor in your field, go over your schedule, and of course, make any changes necessary as needed. But those again will open in April and go throughout the summer and August. In order to be able to register for a new student orientation, now you do have to apply and be admitted to the campus. So again, as Larry has mentioned, that would be filling out your online application, which is free, and then requesting that a transcript be sent. And often your guidance counselors at your high school can help you with that, or you can use Parchment, which is a system that a lot of West Virginia schools use to send in your transcript. So that's all it takes to get you admitted. But both of those are, again, being admitted, sending in your application, transcript are both steps that you need to take to get admitted. And then at that point, as we've talked, that's how you become eligible to register for that $500 scholarship if you join us for Discover Day, as well as complete the housing application. So I still don't see any questions coming in, so make sure if you have them that you ask us. That's what we're here for today. And I do have one other question, Cassie, that I would like to ask you. Can you remind students how they apply? And we mentioned several times, but there is no cost.
Yes, of course, Leslie, thank you. So you can find our application. You can see that website right at the bottom of this screen. Go wvu.edu/PSC apply. When you log into that, you're going to see a screen that has several different options. If you're a first-time freshman, you're going to select first-time freshman. Once you get into that part, it's all the same application as for the WVU system. So you'll see all 3 campuses listed. So you'll want to make sure that you select WVU Kaiser or Potomac State College when you go to fill out your application. Again, no application fee, no test scores required. Once you have that application completely filled out, you'll just have to send us your test scores, excuse me, not your test scores, your transcript, no test scores required, sorry about that, and we'll be able to get you admitted. And if you do have any questions about filling out your application, all you need to do is reach out to your admissions counselor, and you can find all of our information at go.wvu.edu/psc.counselor if you do have any questions.
All right. Well, thanks, Cassie. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us this evening, and we certainly hope that you will find that Potomac State is your home away from home and where you belong. So I'll now turn it over to our facilitator for this meeting.
Big thanks to our crew here at Potomac State College for joining us this evening. Again, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to them. I'd like to thank you all for joining us as well this evening. When you do close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate the feedback that you can provide. Again, this is just one of the many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at WVACRAO.org. And again, in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as other session recordings from other institutions throughout the state and around the country at WVACRAO.org. Thank you and have a good evening.